Hello, everybody. Tom here. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm about to run my first Daggerheart long term campaign. And I thought I'd share some of the digital tools I use and how I have them set up. Maybe it might be helpful for some. I don't know. But let's take a look here. So, the first thing we're looking at is Legend Keeper. So, Legend Keeper is going to be kind of like a wiki or a place for everybody to keep information and refer back to because creating a very detailed world, a tool like this is pretty cool. So this is like the home page. On it I just put links to Demilane Roll20 and to the Daggerheart. Roll20 will go directly to the campaign that I'm running because I am running it in Roll20, at least until maybe Foundry gets its version of it. Then we'll see. But I really like the Demilane character sheets. They're fantastic. The character builder is super easy. They did a fantastic job on that. So we shall see. So anyway, so here it is. It's got a little bit of the history, a little bit about magic and everything in there. It has a map of Everdawn. That's the name of the place, Everdawn. So here is Everdawn. You can see I can scroll out here. I can pan around. And if I want to, I can zoom in on a city. Like this is Orendale, the capital city. So if I click on that, up comes a thing on Orendale. So you can read all about that. You can read about its history, how crime is there, some of the magic schools. Um, the campaign is going to start out in a place called River Rush. So here is River Rush, a little bit about its origins and things like that. Here's a crude map I made of River Rush. But if we want to, we can go to the map. And here's the map, and we can have places on here. So I can add them as we go along, as we create things together, which is pretty cool. Let's see, what else do I have here? Rushvale Forest. Anyway, this is a pretty cool program to have. So we can have like different cities and everything. You have different markers for forests, locations, lakes, whatever you want. Very cool. For characters, so I made a little place so people can edit their characters on here. And let's see, here's one person's they filled out. So it has their description, their motivations, things like that, kind of a little bit on their backstory. There's a place for them to keep notes. Here is an image of their character, so we can enlarge it. That's them. Their name, their class, their ancestry, a link to their character sheet. So if we click on that, it's going to bring up their character sheet in Demilane. Sometimes Demilane likes to think a little bit. There it is. So anyway, there's their character sheet on Demilane. Very cool. Even has a little thing for vibe for their. They put music in there, or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It only plays a little clip, but you can get the rest on Spotify. Gives you an idea. Let's see for NPCs. Let's see. I also have like organizations here. So do the drop down here, and here's the organization for the Shadow Bloom Syndicate. They have factions within there: the Gloomhands, the Hollow Lanterns, the Whispering Circle, the Eclipse Order, which are like assassins. Whispering Circle, obviously, they trade in information. But anyway, very cool. Place for ancestries. Let me do the drop down here. So here's one that one of the characters made by combining a giant and Clank, called a Tree Warden. So that's a new ancestry that we came up with, which is pretty cool. And it works within there. I will fill this out with the rest of the ancestries and everything else that's in there. Let's see, NPCs. I'm going to show you this. This is the main bad guy. This is going to be like the level 10 boss fight or whatever, because that'll get into the next program that I use. And I don't fear showing you this because my players never look at my YouTube channel. They don't do shit. If you're watching If you say Everdawn, Everdawn, Everdawn 3 times in a row, I will give you 2 hope. They're not going to watch this. I don't know. It's weird. Like all my friends who I play with, they like my art is published in like a whole bunch of like role playing game books and everything. There's one of them, but do they buy them? No. Do they follow them? No. Do they care? They put it out there. It's like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's cool. Good job. Who knows? Anyway, all right. So here's like the main bad guy. So all right. So this is kind of like a template I have in here for him, which is pretty cool. Oh, before I show you that, I also did a section for the Pantheon of the Hollows Above. Let's take a look at that really quick. So there's the Goddess of Light, which is pretty cool, and it's got her domains and everything. There's this one a player came up with, Thornbloom and everything. Let's go back to the NPC though. Where is that? I've got a beast book. I don't have any beasts in there yet though. Still working on filling everything out because there's a lot you can do on this. Okay, so here's the main bad guy. So anyway, so you see, I'm pointing it to one of my screens. If you can see where I'm pointing, you would be kind of like in the center of the screen there. There it is. So here is kind of his features and things he can do with his fear and everything else. And I made this. Here's his vibe. Oh, gentlemen, with your... So that's Bauhaus and everything. I like Bauhaus. Plus, I'm friends with the bass player from there. So that the program I used for that is Daggerheart Bruise. Okay. So going on to the next program that I use. So to make these custom villains and everything, I use Daggerheart Bruise. It's really good to create adversaries with. Then you can export them as a PNG. You can save it to your account and everything. Very cool. Okay. So that covers kind of like how I make these like custom adversaries. I still have like standard adversaries, stat blocks and things like that, but and I'm reskinning some of the beasts inside Daggerheart, which is cool. Let's see, what else do I use? I use the card creator from Daggerheart. It's so fucking cool that they included this. I don't know, man. That's real fan service, and that's them doing a very good job. Here's Daggerheart Bruise again. You can create cards here too, but I think the official Daggerheart one is easier to do. That's just my personal opinion. What else do I use? I use Demilane, of course. Demilane is awesome for these character sheets. They do so much better job than like D&D Beyond did with their character sheets. So much easier to make a character in this, and the fact that it ports into Roll20 fueled my decision to use Roll20. I normally do Foundry for most of my games. I don't know. I like Foundry. Let's see. So here is the example of how I have Roll20 set up. Okay. So here we have, some characters and everything else. And how I manage the fight. So I'm going to manage fight. Obviously there's no initiative, but I've made 2. Why am I moving that around? I didn't mean to move that. I'll move this down here. Move this down here. So I made a fear token and a timer token. Now on here, it can display the fear and the countdown timer. But since we don't use initiative, special shout out to my pal Tony, who I used to play with on his YouTube channel. He said, just put them in the initiative order. So our players can see how much fear I have or how much time is left on the countdown, which is pretty cool. Good idea. I was just going to use these big things, make them displayable to everybody, but then people got to look around for it. I got to keep moving it around, whereas the turn order is always there. So very cool idea. Um, and when I run combat, okay, I am going to be using uh, fresh cut fresh cut grass app. Um, this is great. I can, you know, add hit points and stress as I want. Oops, I'm not logged in, but that's okay. I'll log in later. So it's giving me, so it's not able to save it. Be logged in, I must have got logged out or something like that. But so I have the whole social encounter, the merchant. This is going to be the first encounter that they run against. This is a fantastic app. I hope Darrington Press or somebody says, hey, we want that. We want to put it in maybe Roll20 or Demilane or whatever it is, because this is great. You can also roll dice from here, but they'll be rolling the dice from their character sheets in Roll20. So the maps I make, I use Incarnate to make the maps, which is pretty cool. It's pretty easy. I downloaded a bunch of map tools. Like I spent like $40 on map tools for Procreate on my iPad, where I mostly do all my artwork and all my drawing. But this makes it so much easier, quite honestly. It saves me a bunch of time. It's worth it. And so those are the digital online tools that I utilize. Once again, is Legend Keeper, Demilane, Daggerheart Bruise, Roll20, and Fresh Cut Grass. And it may seem like a lot. It kind of is, but the amount of time that you have to go in and you have to utilize these things should be very minimal. Okay. At the end of the session, I'll update Legend Keeper with what went on, adventure notes, and any new NPCs they met or made up along the way. This is all prep work. The encounters are all prep work for, each session. And I'll have some kind of like basic stats if I need to come up with something on the fly. So, they're there. Not give me a moment. I must make a whole sheet or whatever. Now I'll have general stat blocks and everything else. You can print out the encounter too. It's pretty cool. So what do you guys think? Are you guys excited for Daggerheart to play it, or have you played it yet? Are you enjoying it? You loving it? It seems to be getting a lot of positive feedback. I'm very excited. Cosmere is also getting a lot of positive feedback, though I know nothing about that world. So there's kind of a disconnect there. And it looks like a fantastic system and a role-playing game as far as role-playing games are concerned. But the only problem I get is like when we went to run Starfinder, okay? A lot of people have problems getting into the characters because they really don't know the world. They don't know the the lore behind it. And you have to try and communicate that and really sell them on it. Whereas if you're running something like Star Wars or Star Trek, they know it already. Okay. They know what a Wookiee is. They know what all these other things are. So Cosmere, I think it would take either a group that is a fan of it or a lot of education on the GM and the players' parts to kind of catch up with what the world is, what they're doing. Essentially, that's what I'm doing here with my campaign of Everdawn. But it's different because we're making it together. Okay. So there's nothing really, there's few things written down, few things on the history to set up for the campaign. But generally everybody is making it together. So yeah, so that's it. Hope this was helpful on how I set this up. I'm going to be interviewed tonight on the BAMF podcast for my art for Prowlers and Paragons. I'm in 3 supplements, 1 hardcover, 2 soft covers, and I've also done some art for Supers Red and things like that for supplements for that. That's it. I hope everybody's doing well, and I will talk to you later. And I will press stop recording.